This is a game I just got told existed out of nowhere one day by a friend. Got told it had a demo, so I checked it out, and after about 10 minutes I knew this was something I wanted to play. And for anyone watching this, yeah, if anyone seems interested in this, go grab the demo yourself. It has a good length and your save transfers over if you do end up getting it. With that in mind, most of what I'll talk about here will be from what the demo covers. I'll mostly stay away from spoilers, so with that said, let's get started. Overall, this game has a story that it wants to tell. You have plenty of time to go exploring, and there certainly are areas you won't be taken to in the story, but it has a story to tell, so that's what it's going to mostly be doing. I certainly enjoyed the story that it told, too. The basic plot is you're an adventurer who gets asked by the king to check out a nearby ruin that was discovered nearby. In the process of doing that, the clearly evil minister does evil things and you have to go chase him down. That's pretty much what the demo covers, and it's kind of the start of your adventure, but of course stuff gets more involved after that point. One of the things I certainly did like is how the characters make logical decisions. No real doing something just so the plot can move forward type of thing. The king gets told this dungeon has a time travel portal in it and gets told by the ancient people that built it, says it's dangerous and don't use it. So he orders the area sealed so no one can use it. And the minister does anyway, but still, it's nice to see logic behind actions, and it was an enjoyable ride through the story. I love these graphics so much. Ever since I saw this style in Octopath Traveler, I have loved how it looks both retro and modern at the same time. You get all the characters being old school looking sprites, while the terrain has textures to give them a pixel look as well. Then you have things like modern lighting and effects that make it still look modern. These blend together in a way that gives a very nice looking game. You know, as long as you like sprites. And yes, that was more of a general comment on the style in general and not this specific game, but hey, I haven't talked about this yet. The graphics really do help the game out as it gives it an older look to go with having the gameplay of a more old Zelda game. When it comes to this type of game, I just feels better to have this style of graphics over pure 3D. While you can make good looking 3D games like this style just hits harder for me. Probably because I'm old. It really does come down to if you like this style of graphics though. I do, so I really like how it looks. As for how they're used in this game itself, each era that you travel to has its own look to it. The starting age has what I like to say is the standard look, nice and colorful and looking like a developed medieval era. The previous age through the whole thing is muted. The colors are more washed out as things are in decline, and instead of a big castle town, you have a few huts from the survivors. Even without anyone telling you what age you were in, you'd be able to tell just by how things look, and that's a good touch. Overall, the sound is good, but not great, which probably sounds more negative than I'm trying to be. While playing the game, it all works very well together, but none of the music or anything really stuck with me outside of playing the game. I certainly won't complain about music that works really well for the game while you're playing it though. I also like how each time period having music that helps give it its own identity and feel. So all the sound is solid, and it does what it needs to do well, but it won't blow you away. What I will add is there's an option to change how often your helper talks. It never found it really annoying, so I never turned it on, but I figure I'm probably the weird one who didn't change it. And this is a bit off topic, but since we're talking about options, this game has a good amount of them to help customize your journey. That's always nice to see. As I mentioned before, if you played a 2D Zelda game, then the overall flow of the game will be familiar. You go around exploring, completing dungeons, and getting new stuff so you can explore more areas. That's the simplified version of the general loop. Of course, this game certainly does expand upon things. First of all, the different weapons you can get. First of which is the sword, your starting weapon and good all-rounder. Pretty quick attack, good arc in front of you, no weakness, but a bit lower on power compared to the other options. For the charge attack, you send the shockwave forward that not only helps for fighting, but can also hit switches and other such things. Bonus, if you use the charge attack in melee, you get both the hit with the sword and then the shockwave that follows for a nice 1-2 hit. This was my main weapon going through the game, and I never felt like I was missing anything while using it. Next up is the spear. It has good reach, but more limited arc on what you can hit. Pretty good power as well. Clearly its weakness is that limited arc. The charge attack is, well, a charge. You run forward and really spear something good in front of you. The hammer is a slow weapon, but it throws its weight around and has a huge amount of power. The same swing arc as the sword, but far slower, so you need to make sure your swings hit. Hitting something does knock them back, and slamming people around is always fun. The charge attack is a big slam. Everyone loves a big slam. The chain sickle is a mix of a melee and a ranged weapon. It covers a whole circle around you, but has a blind spot right next to you, making its normal use more tactical. Very effective weapon if you get the ranges right, though. The charge attack is unique in that it has you swinging the chain around, meaning you get to attack while it's charging. The actual attack itself pulls an enemy towards you while doing a whole bunch of damage. Maybe the trickiest weapon to use, but very fun in either case. For dedicated ranged weapons, we have the boomerang, which will instantly disappoint old school Zelda fans when you discover it won't pick up items from far away. You do get something for this eventually, but I did try to pick up a gem as soon as I got it. Other than that, it goes out and comes back with a chance of hitting more than once. The charge attack has it hover at the end of its range. Placed right, this will hit a lot and really start to add on a bunch of damage, but hard to do on smaller stuff. Next up, we have the bow. It does have an ammo count, and you do get upgrades to it. Early on, the ammo makes it a bit hard to use as a main weapon. Later on, though, the ammo count isn't that much of a problem because of the ammo upgrades. Other than that, it shoots an arrow out. The charge attack fires arrows out in a fan. The last weapon are the bombs, and they are bombs. You can either place them down or throw them. They do a bunch of damage and, of course, blow open walls and other such to open new paths. No charge attack here, they're bombs. The final piece of equipment you have is your trusty shield. It can block enemy attacks, but has a stamina, so you can't turtle behind it forever. And later on, you get an upgrade that lets you parry with it. Parries don't take stamina, but you do have to time it right. Luckily, the shield has a visual which indicates what the parry window is. This really helps figure it out and makes it not all that bad to use. You know, outside of all the times I screwed it up anyway. The last of the weapon basics is that you can have two equipped at once and can change them around freely. I went with the sword and boomerang for most of the game, probably the most basic weapon set, but I don't think any weapon is so bad that you couldn't beat the game with it. The real kicker for the weapons though is the Magicite system. Using basically a gacha system to get them, I feel the need to mention this just adds randomness on what you get and nothing more. As you make more, your rank will increase, which gives you better chances at getting higher rarity Magicite. If you get a dupe or worse version, then you refund one of the fragments you used. So that's how you get them, but what do they do? Some stuff is just your basic increase in power or crit chance and damage, that type of stuff. Others can be something like bombs leave behind a pool of lava, or that big bonk from the hammer now calling down bolts of lightning and making anything you kill with the hammer explode, or that boomerang orbit around you while you can go to town with something like your sword. I don't want to list everything that you can do, but you can see these can really change up how a weapon works. The effects are pretty fun, and mixing and matching them can lead to some very strong attacks. The only limit you have on which ones you can use are the cost, depending on how upgraded your box is determines how many points you have to play with. This is a pretty fun system as you aren't limited in getting the more fun effects early on, but through getting higher rarity Magicite and being able to equip more gives you a nice scaling power curve across the game while not overloading you with too many options or changing things up suddenly halfway through the game. That's all the fighting stuff. Let's talk about the exploration now. The map in this game is really good. Normally I'd find myself having to go online and look up a map to see where stuff is, but here that never felt needed. The map will mark chests and other landmarks as you explore and find them, so you don't need to remember every little thing you couldn't collect yet, as it will just be on the map. And once you do collect something, it's just removed from the map, cleaning it up as you go and not leaving behind like those gray chests to serve as a checkmark. The only exception to this is one collectible, but that's just for lore and a trophy, so not as critical. Dungeons will even tell you how many chests are still need to be found inside of it, so you know when you finish one. What do you find in these chests though? Standard money and Magicite fragments, Magicite themselves, and shards of life, which functions like a heart container. Find 4 of them, and you get to upgrade your health bar. While the Magicite themselves is kind of the worst thing to find, it does give you an idea of how strong the area is based on the rarity it is. It does suck when you open a chest and find what's basically one fragment in it, but hey, if it was newer or upgrade, it's very nice. The other thing about exploring, which does still happen in the demo, is you find another timeline. This mainly acts to give you another area to explore. This isn't really a blow up something in the past to change the future type of puzzle or anything. More what it does is certain dungeons are only complete in certain time periods, and there are some differences in terrain. While it certainly does help expand the map out, since you do end up exploring the same area multiple times, it can be a bit disappointing in that sense. At least it's easy to change time as you can freely fast travel around the map and time, which is handy because a lot of goodies are hidden behind side quests. These are your normal quests. Go here, kill stuff, go pick something up, talk to someone, etc. The rewards though are more often than not very worthwhile. So while by the end of the game I was getting a bit burned out from doing a few of the quests that wanted you to jump around time continuously to talk to people, overall it felt like a good add to the things to take care of as an adventurer. If you are feeling a bit tired of doing side quests though, the game will warn you when a quest will become unable to be completed soon, so you can put them off until you do get that warning. Just don't ignore it or it will become impossible to complete. Lastly, you get accessories, mainly from side quests but a few from shops, that you can equip that give various effects, from helping in combat, making more money, or things to help you get around like not slipping on ice. You can change them out whenever, so you don't need to plan ahead or anything, outside of a few challenges anyway. So you can put on the don't slip on ice one when you enter the ice dungeon, and then take it off when you're done. And later on, you'll get some magic for your little fairy friend. Won't go over all the spells here as that's well past the demo area, but you do get one that lets you dash around, which is very nice to have to do in a game where you will be running around a lot. Also, your fairy friend can be controlled by another player in local co-op. I will mention that the fairy does have an attack, and you can get up to some serious shenanigans. This all comes together to give you a good, comfortable adventure through time, if maybe a bit tiring if you're doing every side quest as soon as they become available. I played on normal, and the difficulty wasn't bad. You get enough tools like health potions that if you're keeping yourself stocked up, isn't hard. Then you won't run into many problems. And even if you do, you can spend a small amount of money to get revived on the spot. If you want something more difficult, it has 2 harder settings. I just don't know how hard they are. Also, you can change the difficulty while at a save point if you want to adjust things. The game does have a New Game Plus feature as well, so if you did miss something, you can go back and get it during that time as well. Or you can just have fun going through the game with all your stuff. Overall, a very nice game. It's a nice experience from start to finish with some twists in the plot and a solid gameplay loop. This isn't a game that's really pushing anything, but it's an experience that left me feeling good across my whole playthrough. There are only a few moments where I got frustrated or a feeling of wanting to get on with things. If you like these kind of games, I highly recommend that you check it out.